guys, welcome back. So you guys asked for some Christmas light boxes, and so that's what I'm sharing with you today. And there are two different gnome styles, and then there's also two different middles. So you can always mix and match these as well if you prefer like one middle with the other gnome. But let's go ahead and get started so I can show you how to put these together. So to make these Christmas light boxes, you're going to need to grab the free SVG templates from my blog at svgnation.com, and you are going to find a link in the video description that will take you directly there, as well as links to the supplies that I'm using. So once you've uploaded that file to Cricut Design Space, go ahead and add it to your canvas. And regardless of which one you've added, we've got to make the exact same modifications. I'm going to just zoom out so you can see all of this a little bit better. I'll zoom out again. But we do have quite a few modifications, so this is going to take just a minute. But go ahead and start by ungrouping your layers. And you're going to see all of these lines. And if you've done any of my paper crafts before, you know that these need to be changed to score lines. So the easiest way to do this is just click on one of these. And then right here, you're just going to click on that line right there and change the operation to score. And then click that layer right above it and attach it. And you're just going to repeat these for all of these. I've got all the score lines for each element grouped together. So if there's more than one, you're just going to click on that group of score lines, go to your operation and change that to score, and then click on that layer above and attach. And it's going to be the same for these as well. If you notice, all of those score lines are all attached together. You don't want to change this one up top to score. You just want to click right here where all of those lines are grouped together. You'll go to your operation. You'll change that to score. Then just click that layer right above where they're all grouped together to attach it to the base piece. You're also going to repeat these for all of these ones right here and also all of these base sides right here. So we're just going to change the operation right here to score and then just attach that right to the box. Okay, so now I have all of these lines changed to score and I've attached them. Now if you don't have a scoring tool, then instead of changing those to score, you're just going to delete all of those lines. You don't want to keep them in your file because it's just going to cut random lines. So go ahead and delete those, but this is going to be so much easier if you do have a scoring tool. So if you have a Cricut Explorer, you can get that scoring stylus, and if you have the Maker, it has a scoring wheel. And right now I'm using the Explorer with the stylus, and I use this all the time. Like, that stylus is one of the best things I've bought. So I highly recommend getting it if you don't have it. But once you do have those changed, or if you've deleted them, then you can go ahead and click on Make It. And we're ready to cut everything out. And everything here will fit on letter size or 12 by 12 cardstock. I highly recommend using the 12 by 12 for the white, because if you see how it places it all on the paper together and how we already have to cut 5 layers of this, if you switch it to the 12 by 12, you're going to be cutting a lot of sheets of this. But if that's all you have, then you can go ahead and use that. And then it's just a couple other cuts for the other colors. But you do want to make sure that all of those score lines are in the correct place that you just created. So if you see those score lines somewhere else, then you need to go back and attach those, because that just means you did not attach them to the layer. But if everything looks good and you've got all those score lines and everything's ready to go, then go ahead and cut out all of your pieces. So there are some intricate cuts with these lightbox designs, but you really shouldn't have any issues cutting them out. So if you are, then you need to make sure that your blade is clean, or possibly it might be time to replace it. You also want to make sure that you're using a clean mat, because if there's any like little pieces stuck on the mat, that is going to cause issues with cutting. And then when you remove these designs from your mat, make sure that you slowly roll the mat off of your paper instead of trying to peel the paper off of the mat. Because if you try to peel the paper off the mat, you're going to end up curling your designs, ripping them, and it's not going to come off as easy. So it's really important to roll that mat off your designs and go slowly and kind of push everything down as you pull them. And then once you have everything cut out and removed from the mat, go ahead and start by assembling your gnome. So you're going to glue that beard to the red base, and then you're going to add on your hat pieces, your nose, the feet, and the hands. So for the hands, I'm actually going to use foam dots just to give it a little extra dimension, but you can also glue these down, so whatever you prefer. And then go ahead and put this aside and grab those 6 light box pieces. So when you're folding on the spacers for these, you want to make sure that your design is face down and that you're folding up. So go ahead and place the front of your design face down on your work surface. And if you're not sure which one is the front, then you can look in Cricut Design Space, and the way it's facing in Cricut Design Space, that's going to be the front. And you can also tell by looking at your score lines, the side that has the deeper score lines, that's going to be your front. So take that front and put it down, face down on your work surface, and then fold on all of those score lines. So you're going to notice that each of them have 4 score lines for each of those little spacer pieces. And so just fold up on all 4. And once you've got those folded, it should naturally just fold into a box. And then you're going to glue that bottom piece of the box down. So you're making little square spacers, and that's what's going to keep the designs a little bit separate from each other. And so when you're gluing these down, use like a tool to press down on the inside of each box, because this is going to help that bottom part really stick to the box. And continue to repeat this for the other 4 sides of your design. So you're just folding on all 4 of those score lines, and you're folding this into a box and gluing it down. And you're also going to repeat this for the other 4 layers that have these tabs. So that bottom piece isn't going to have them, but all the rest of them will. And then when you are finished with these, go ahead and set those aside and let them dry. And you want to grab the rest of your white base pieces. So you're going to notice there's a lot of rectangles. So go ahead and grab the 2 smaller rectangles that look alike, but go ahead and measure those because one is slightly shorter than the other. So take that one that is slightly smaller and put that one aside for later and keep that larger one in front of you. And then you're going to do the same thing with those other 4 rectangles. There's 2 that are slightly shorter, so go ahead and take those ones and put them aside and keep those 2 slightly longer ones with you because we're going to go ahead and use those. And so go ahead and start with that small rectangle, and you're going to fold on the score lines, and then you're going to attach this to that circle frame. And you are lining it up with the bottom, and you do want to line it up as the best that you can to the edge. It's kind of just like you're assembling a bottom part of a box. That's basically what we're doing here. And then go ahead and grab one of the other sides, and these are symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which one you grab, but it will matter which way that you fold on those tab lines. So if you've got one side glued down, the other side isn't lining up right, then just fold on the other side of the tab lines and it will. And so you're just going to attach this to the other side base and then glue down each of those tab pieces. You just maybe want to do a few at a time, and you are lining those up around the circle. So you're kind of creating a circle with this piece, and you're just lining it up again with the edge. And you're also going to repeat this with that other side as well. And remember, if it doesn't line up, then fold those tab pieces the other way and it should line up just fine. And then close it all together by attaching all those tab pieces. So when it's done, it should look like the bottom part of a box, except it's got a big hole in the middle. And then you're going to glue this to the back of your gnome. And you can line the bottom up perfectly with the bottom of the gnome, but I like to bring it up just slightly because I just feel like it stands a little bit better this way. But whichever way you prefer. And then you're going to repeat everything we just did with those other sides that you put aside and that base. So you're just gluing each of these sides to the base, and what we're doing is we're creating a lid that's going to go inside this part we just glued on. So when you are done gluing it all on, it should fit inside that one that we just glued onto the back of the gnome. And it is going to be a tight fit. That's exactly what you want, because you want everything to hold together well without having to glue it in. That way, if you want to put different lights that don't fit through this hole, or you need to open it for any reason, you're going to be able to. And then you're going to grab those 6 light box pieces that you put aside, and you're gluing these together by using those spacer boxes. And you're just gluing them right on top of each other, but it's really important that you glue them in the correct order, otherwise it's not going to look like my designs here. So if you're not sure what the correct order is, then just look in Cricut Design Space because they are in order there. So from left to right, that left one is the top one with that right one being the bottom one. So you're just going to glue them one on top of each other that way. And I think it's easier to kind of stand them up as I glue them just to make sure that they're all aligned perfectly. And then once these are attached together, you're going to place them inside that box on the back of the gnome, and you want that front design facing the opening of the gnome. And then you're going to add the lid on top of these, and again, you're going to kind of have to press it in a little bit because that tight fit is holding everything together so that nothing falls out. And then you're going to grab those fairy lights, and you're just going to string them through the hole on the back, and then tape that battery pack to the back of your gnome. And then you just flip the lights on whenever you want these to glow. They're done. That's all there is to it. But these 3D light boxes, they really are such a fun craft, and they really look really cool at night all lit up. But if you guys have any questions on how to make these, then make sure to ask those in the comments, and I'll answer them there for you guys. And make sure to share your designs with us in my crafting group. If you're not already a member in there, then I have left a link where you can find that group in the video description, or just tag me on social media if you post those, because I love to see your guys' crafts and what you guys do with them. But before you go, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. This is a huge help to support my channel so that I can keep making these designs to share with you guys. And thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.